one of your other works is through Boom Studios. That's out right now.
I wouldn't call that my work.
Well,
that
right,
would
right.
be presumptuous
It's
of both of us.
Sure. It's Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, comic adaptation of the novel written by Philip K. Dick, which of course is what the movie Blade Runner was based off of. You had mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
It sounds great here. Flying off the
shelves.
Flies, yeah. And how is it adapting Dick's work into a graphic novel form? There's nothing abridged. It's pretty much word for word from the book, correct? Yeah. It's in all sense of the term a graphic novel.
Sure.
How is that working with something that's already existed and just adapting it?
Just to give credit where credit's due, and I'm not sure he wants this to be known, but Ross Ritchie actually does the breakdown.
Okay.
He indicates the panel directions, the art, describes the images from the comic, from the novel, sorry. And I'm there as a lettering artist. Having said that, Ross definitely hired me. Chip Mosher is a very smart guy, and he knew I loved Blade Runner, and he knew he's a big he's the biggest Philip K. Dick fan. I'm going to resist the temptation to make any joke at Chip's expense, but so they approached me to letter the book, knowing that I would care about it and promote it. And I think they've done a brilliant job. I have also done a brilliant job because I had to, because I can't letter Android's Dream of Electric Sheep with a sandwich in one hand. I really have to concentrate on it because it is something that has inspired me, and it's actually been a real joy reading the book as slowly as I do. I've always said to people that no one reads a comic book slower than a comic book letterer, because you're putting every word on the page. And I can always tell when you're dealing with quality writing because you're attentive of it. When you're lettering something of a lower quality, you don't remember it. You don't stop. You don't analyze the text. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? I really enjoy lettering it because I'm learning something new about a book I read when I was, 19, 20. And they've got a good artist on it. They've broken it down, I think, into 24 issues. And Moritat, who's the artist on Elephantmen, does the what they call the A cover. So it's something that Moritat and I are both big Blade Runner fans. So to be involved with that work, no matter how tangentially, is a great pleasure. So
how does that work for you? Are you literally there with the text, just boom, boom, word for word?
Yeah. And in fact, the estate of Philip K. Dick is very particular about leaving every comma, every period in. I mean, usually you wouldn't have a word balloon that ends in a comma, but you do in Androids. So it is a very particular process. Ian Brill and Bryce Carlson, who are the editorial team on the book, are great to work with. It's a great book. I love it.
Is there anything you're reading right now that's currently being published?
Comics?
Yeah. Comic-wise, yeah.
What was the last thing I read? I read Asteria's Polyp by David Mazzucchelli. I highly recommend that. That's a beautiful, beautiful piece of work. David Mazzucchelli did Born Again with Frank Miller many, many years ago. He did Rubber Blanket, but this is something else. This is unique. It looks like the style of New Yorker cartoons, but it's got a very interesting narrative. It's got a beautiful style. I can't recommend that one highly enough. There was another one I read recently. I'll be reading Beast by Marion Churchland, which is out later this month. Marion and I did 3 issues of Elephantmen together, and it really was a collaboration. She's a young artist from Canada. I expect great things of her. I'm really looking forward to seeing Beast. Again, Image Comics are publishing that. There's something more recent that I read, but it escapes me. I read Jack Staff from Image. That's one of my favorites. I just read, we were doing a signing here with Glenn Brunswick, and his collaborator on Jersey Gods, Dan McDade, wrote a really brilliant spirit pastiche in a recent issue of Doctor Who magazine, and it was a very loving Eisner spirit tribute, and I'm telling as many people as I can to try and track down a copy of that, because I think Dan's a talent. I think Dan's somebody to watch. You know, he's an artist, he's a writer, he's a sort of triple threat. You know, pencils, inks, script.
The whole thing.
Glenn's lucky to have him, just as I was lucky to have Marion, and I'm very lucky to be able to work with Moritat. Yeah. But I think there's some good graphic novels out there. I think this is sort of a heyday for comics. I think
absolutely.
There's a lot of choice.
Absolutely.
You know, I've loved things as disparate as Death Note, you know, the manga. I read a lot of British reprints, you know, because like anybody, it's always nice to look back. You know, the 2000 AD compendium reprints are really great. And I'm a big fan of Boo Cook, who just did the latest issue of Elephantmen. Issue 21, he's doing Judge Anderson for 2000 AD. I expect great things of him in the future, and I think, yeah, it's a great time to be in comics. I've remembered the book that I read last week. It's a book called The Imposter's Daughter by, I believe her name is, I don't want to misremember her name, but it's a book about a woman who didn't believe all the stories her father told her until she grew up and realized maybe he was telling fibs. And I highly recommend people track that down, The Imposter's Daughter. Sorry, the future.
Yeah, no, I mean, the future for you. I mean, Elephantmen, that's going to be an ongoing, correct?
Elephantmen is monthly, it's ongoing. We have, even though we're on issue 21 this month, because we did a mini-series, 2 one-shots, you know, we're in the high 20s. I envisage at least 10 trade paperbacks.
Great.
We like to publish really thick trade paperbacks. I know the trend is for expensive, thin, 5-issue trade paperbacks, but you know, the last collection, Fatal Diseases, which is in trade paperback in December, collects 9 issues. The next one will collect 8.5 issues. So, you know, we're going to keep going. I imagine at least issue 75.
Great.
We have a new story arc starting called Questionable Things. That's an 7-issue story that issue 21 is the springboard for that story. The Elephantmen, Ebony's been reactivated by a Mappo sleeper cell, and the story progresses from there. I can't really tell you what's going to happen, because there's a big surprise in issue 23, which is a cliffhanger into the next story. So that's my focus right now. I mean, I really enjoy doing Elephantmen. I really enjoy being at the store and meeting readers, and it's sort of a dream come true. You know, there's interest in making a movie of Elephantmen. I haven't signed any of the options.
I'm sure it's good.
But you know, but I hope something will come of that. You know, I've met some great people, and that's really my focus.
Great.
So, more Elephantmen all the time.
More Elephantmen. Well, Richard, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Cheers. Thanks.